want to talk about the driver who always comes here, has high expectations of doing well, and it's his home race, and what I believe could probably be his final time racing here at home. Sergio Perez's home Grand Prix in Mexico City got off to a rocky start due to a jump start after pulling it ahead too far from his starting grid spot. The car had no pace all day and finished, disappointing 15th out of the points, his worst finish when running at the end of the Mexico City Grand Prix. And last year, also disappointing for Checo. He had a DNF from this race, lap one, and this year, just plain out struggling again. And Jenna Fryer from the Associated Press also asked Kristen Horner a question after the race. She said, "Is Sergio Perez going to finish out the season?" And Christian Horner told her, "Look, it's a performance-based business. There comes a point in time that difficult decisions have to be made." And after reading that comment, I think we could have potentially seen Sergio Perez run his final race at Red Bull, because those comments from Christian Horner kind of telling in a way. Matthew, do you think after a disappointing Mexico City Grand Prix, does Red Bull need to drop Sergio Perez? And if they drop him, do you think he'll probably just finish out the year at Visa Cash App RB?
It's tough. The fall off of Checo should be studied, because it's just, he went from, wow, he's going to have a great year, and obviously he single-handedly helped Max Verstappen win that championship a few years ago too, against Lewis Hamilton. But Red Bull, something must be going on or something over there, because it's going to be a tough decision to make. And I think, personally, out of respect to Checo, you've gotten this far with him. He's done a lot for your team. I'd say leave him in, but I don't think Checo should. I think this should be his final stand in Formula One, kind of like Daniel Ricciardo was almost pushed out. I think this is time for Checo to hang it up. I mean, he's done great. He's had a great career, very respectable career. But for somebody who hasn't finished in the top 5 since Miami in a Red Bull car, no other Red Bull driver has ever been treated like this, to where they can continue racing in this top team. Like Pierre Gasly, if he was finishing 5th or 6th, they were like shaming him. Same with Alex Albon, these guys. So Checo's something. I don't know what's going on over Red Bull. I think now that they've lost, they're not going to win the Constructors' Championship. I don't know if you should put, say, Liam Lawson in the other seat and give him the chance. I don't know. They're in a very tough pickle over there in their Red Bull development program, because I don't think Yuki Tsunoda's ever going to get that seat. I think he should probably move on, because I think he's stuck right there in the 1 or 2 seat for Visa Cash App Red Bull, that whole team. I don't think they need to drop him, but I think they got to stop not playing with it. But I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what they're doing at Red Bull for Checo to still be in this seat when guys like Liam Lawson was battling him for the last point stop, or last point place. I'm sorry, earlier in the race when Liam flipped him off or whatever. Checo said he's an idiot. Liam said he's an idiot. I think the fall off needs to be studied for Checo. I don't know what happened there. I don't think he should be demoted, though. I think it's either you demote him or not demote him. You either finish out the rest of the year with him and say goodbye. I know he's already signed the contract, or you let him go now. You either let him go like right now or let him finish out the season. You don't demote him, though. So it's very disappointing for him in arguably his final race at this track. And it was terrible. I mean, he was not in contention for even a millisecond of this race. So that's how I personally feel about it. I don't know if you guys will agree or not, but
yeah, I would agree with you in that sense. I would be shocked if Sergio Perez comes back to Mexico next year and he's with Red Bull. I just do not get the move, because, like you said, he has gone from helping Max Verstappen get his first championship, being beloved, and improving, second place in the Drivers' Championship, to now, because of his lack of performance, Red Bull's slipping away from that Constructors' Championship. And we're not just talking, oh, this is just a small setback and they're going to come back. No, with the penalties Red Bull has gotten over the budget cap stuff, it's starting to get to them. 3rd place in the Constructors now, behind Ferrari, behind McLaren. This is not the direction to go, and I get it. Sergio Perez brings a lot of sponsorship money with him, more so than Yuki Tsunoda. he has the ability to go out there and get the win. He was at one point king of the streets. He's had a good long career, but it's coming down to the end. I just do not see how you could keep him around any longer because at the end of the day, when are we going to see the Sergio Perez that was up towards the front in a backmarker car like Force India Racing Point, where he got that surprise win? I don't think we're going to see it. He's getting older. I know I talked about it yesterday. You look at the drivers from Mexico in the top 3 series, IndyCar, F1, NASCAR. Sergio Perez, I think, has the most bleak outlook because at the end of the day, where's he going to go if Red Bull decides you're done? V-Carb? That team's not exactly winning caliber. Yes, they got some 2 wins. Pierre Gasly, Sebastian Vettel, his first win, but I just don't see that again happening. Maybe he could get his confidence up because then there's less pressure and could run strong like a Pierre Gasly, but does Sergio Perez really want to be with that team? I think the answer is no. Does Red Bull want to can Perez during the season? I think not. I think they're just going to try to finish it off, but because at the end of the day, you are in that jam, like you said. You put in Lawson, you put in Yuki Tsunoda, just so that way Honda will be happy that he drove a Red Bull and say, well, we tried it. Then next year, whoever you put in there, I just don't get what Red Bull's going to do in this mess.
To add a quick point to that, I truly believe Red Bull is worried because they don't believe there's a better driver than Checo to be in that car. I think they missed out completely to bring Carlos Sainz back to the team. I mean, you have one of the best free agents out there with Carlos Sainz. Is now he's going to Williams. Obviously, he just won today. I think they missed the complete whether money. Red Bull's got a lot of money. Carlos Sainz maybe not. He doesn't bring as much sponsorship, but they completely missed that out. And I think that's why it's kind of biting them right now when it comes to that. So I wanted to add that point about that. I don't think Red Bull's confident enough in Liam Lawson. I really don't think they're confident in Yuki Tsunoda, or else he would have already been in that seat. And I think the Daniel Ricciardo experiment, bringing him back, I don't think it worked for them either. And now they're kind of in a pickle where they just have to stick it out and take the money lost by finishing third in the constructors.
Yeah, Matthew, I think that's an excellent point. I really do feel like Red Bull is stuck right now, and there's no real good plan B of what they can do right now. I think just the way things are right now. Although I do believe that this could potentially be Sergio Perez's final race with Red Bull alongside Max Verstappen. If it was me making the decision, I'd say, you know what, this season hasn't been what we expected from the constructor side of things. Yes, Checo's let us down, but we just have a few more races to go. Let's just finish out the year. Yeah, let's just keep him in the car the rest of the year, and then we'll figure out the rest. With the legal situation, trying to get out his contract next year. And as I said before, I would be very shocked if Sergio Perez is on the grid at the start of the 2025 season in a Red Bull Formula One car. I think the chances of seeing that happen, although he does have a contract for next year, I think the chances of that are extremely unlikely. Yeah, it just hasn't been going well. And yeah, Matthew, I also agree with your point that it needs to be studied. Like, how on earth has Sergio Perez fallen off a cliff right now? It's just unbelievable to see how this driver has just continued to struggle, and things don't seem to be getting better at all. Real unfortunate situation for him. Yeah, but after this, I'm not really sure where Sergio Perez goes. I know it would be really hard for him, for these final few races if he has to drive around in a V car to close out the year. And Liam Lawson, young driver, still getting up to speed in Formula One. I don't know if it would be the best situation right now to put him in that Red Bull car, because if you do that, you can destroy a young driver's confidence. And then once you've lost your confidence, then it's basically game over from there. Especially given the high pressure environment that is Formula One, and the pressure to perform, it's always enormous. But more so here at the pinnacle of motorsport. And if Red Bull were to make a driver change this late in the season, I'm not really sure what they do. Put Lawson in that second RB, then who are you gonna replace Lawson at V car? Knowing Red Bull, they might ask Daniel Ricciardo to come back, after dropping him, and that would be the most Red Bull thing I could possibly see happening. Yeah, I think that's actually something that could happen, believe it or not.